KCTV5's Nathan Vickers has been talking with fans about that amazing feat, and he's live at Union Station now to show us just how amazing it was. Nathan?
All right, Brad, I'm going to start my timer right now. We challenged fans to show us what they could do with 13 seconds, and we found that it goes by a lot faster than you think. And imagine what it's like in the fourth quarter of a football game with everything on the line. In fact, it's less time than it's taken me to do this intro. That's right, Brad. You know, this story made me think Chiefs fans are a little bit like Union Station. They really like being in the red, but that's not true when it comes to their finances. So this is a deal Chiefs fans are really excited about, almost as much as they were about last night's game.
Accurate medical messaging has become more important than ever for physicians. Embracing social media trends lets them reach new demographics and audiences all over the world, and they can counter medical misinformation in the process. According to the U.S. Curling Association, the sport is growing across the country. Now there are 185 clubs and more than 23,000 curlers nationwide.
Well, the DEA has this visualization that shows just how deadly fentanyl can be. If you think about a gram of fentanyl, that's about the amount that can fit into a sugar packet. They say that that gram is about 500 lethal doses worth of fentanyl. Here's the problem. Turkey Creek is flooded enough over the years that businesses nearby are considered part of the floodplain. Now there's a plan to fix that. This Walmart does have signs warning drivers that they could be towed if they park here, but the drivers this morning say that's never been an issue before. Co-living allows several people to rent a home together. They share common areas like the kitchen, but they each have their own living space. Some advocates see it as an affordable housing solution. Police here in Lenexa believe that that couple was connected to at least 2 different home burglaries just a few blocks away from here, but they say in both cases the first thing they stole was the clicker for the garage door. Well, there's an app for everything now, including your garage door, so you can actually use your phone to open and close your door. I've got this app here on my phone, but there's a lot of different options on the market. It's going to take a minute to open, but this is a good alternative for a clicker so that you can have your phone with you all the time. You don't even have to take your remote out of your car. And as an added bonus, you can see when your garage door is open in case someone else tries to get into your house. Bellamy's family says he lived just a few blocks away. He had just gotten off of the bus at this stop and he was walking back to his apartment. It's just over the hill there, past that crosswalk. Now, his family also says he was getting ready to celebrate a milestone this week. One woman's attorney gave us these documents. They show that the district investigated a series of inappropriate comments, actions, and touching. But her lawyer says little was done.
Well, hi, Nathan.
Hey, fans are going into the gates right now, but that watch party is about to get started across the street. There's a lot going on down here at Power and Light, and a lot of people glad to see all of these fans back.
Hi, Nathan.
Hey, yeah, I had to bundle up a little bit, but it's still a pretty good day to catch a game out here. Fans came out early. They tailgated like normal. You know, a lot of fans couldn't tailgate for opening day a couple years ago, and last year things were kind of scaled back.
It turns out KU has an active alumni association here in Chicago. They're hoping that'll reflect a big turnout for Jayhawk fans tomorrow night. Hello from 1,300 feet and 103 stories above the street. We're taking the day in between games to follow basketball fans around the city.
There's a long line here, so people told me they've been waiting in line for about 3.5 hours. This is a neat old bridge. Look at it back here. It's the first trusses were put down about 1905. This is such a unique Kansas City experience. You can come down to the River Market, take a picture with the KC Hard, and then visit the Steamboat Arabia Museum. But the owners say they're looking for a new place, a bigger place to grow.
KCTV5's Nathan Vickers is live for us near 95th and Quivira at a shopping center that took quite a hit overnight, didn't they, Nathan?
Yeah, especially the windows. That hit the windows really hard. Debris went up against them. You can see some of them are even boarded up.
Kansas Cityans get really frustrated when they see scenes like this in the historic Northeast. Parks and streets that just have trash scattered about where people haven't gone to the nearest trash can and thrown it away. But the city hopes some new programs will help reduce litter across the city. Pavement only lasts so long in the Midwest. You know, you see cracks like this one forming every winter, these kind of gator cracks that sort of trickle throughout the pavement. That's a crazy story. And to look at the house now, you would never know that any of this happened. The property owner uses this place for short-term kind of vacation rentals, and one of his guests woke up to something noisy going on up on the roof.
There's still hope for much of the building. The fire never reached the lower part of the sanctuary. Most of the stained glass windows are still intact, and the building's bricks and mortar appear to be in pretty good shape.
This heat can really beat you up, especially in the urban environment. You get all this radiation up off the pavement. We have the thermometer out here to show you just how hot that can get. It's about 139, 140 degrees. The sun's going down, and the cars have actually cooled down a little bit too, but it's still pretty hot in there when I use the little temperature gun. Once this is all off the ground, you'll be able to place a bet in person at the Hollywood Casino or another licensed provider. You'll also be able to place a bet through a mobile app, but there's a lot that has to happen between now and then.
There's a lot of smoke and water damage, especially upstairs. But the fire never reached the sanctuary, and the structure appears to be in good shape.
The project's several years in the making. You can see it all the way up that scaffolding there at the very top. You see those nice new looking statues. There have been a variety of projects happening here in the Red Bridge area over the past 2 or 3 years. This particular project is the Red Bridge Complete Streets project. The lights are off, the gates are locked out here at the Starbucks on the plaza, and the company really hasn't said why. Now, this was one of the first locations in the KC area to unionize.
The city says bike lanes are not just about recreation. For many, they're about connecting neighborhoods and creating safer pathways for many forms of transportation.
It was kind of a cold and cloudy day this morning, but the water still felt great, and a lot of families wanted to come out to Shawnee Mission Park on the last day of the marina season out here and dip their feet in the water one last time. You can see what those vandals did. They actually spray painted over that brick here. That's going to take a lot of cleanup work. And then back here, there's some crosses pulled up, and then a sign that the church had put up encouraging people to vote yes on Amendment 1 was painted over.
Over the decades, parts of the mansion fell into disrepair. But in the 1980s, it was donated to the City of Independence, which has worked for more than 30 years to preserve it with the help of passionate volunteers who love sharing its many stories.
Mayor Adams was talking about the recognizability of NYC around the world, and I think most people here in Prairie Country took it with pretty good humor. But we wanted to know, what is Kansas's brand? So we asked people around here to tell us what words and images they'd use to describe their state.
There may be around 1,000 people buried in Potter's Field, 1,000 names to be remembered, and stories to be shared. Stroud's is putting together nearly 100 Thanksgiving meals today, enough to feed literally hundreds of people.
Yeah, the fire impacted most of this building here. You can see it's all taped off. There's debris everywhere. And fortunately, no one was hurt in all this, but a lot of families lost almost all their possessions.
Mushrooms are a notoriously difficult crop, but Moore and her team have this down to a science. Right now, they're producing more than 500 pounds every week, and demand keeps growing.
There's a lot of big, beautiful old ash trees, as old as the neighborhood itself, actually. Overland Park says there's about 8,000 spread across the city, 400 in this neighborhood alone.
Nathan?
Yeah, the days of the blue light special are long gone, right? And people in Merriam have long wanted to see this Kmart gone, but they're also looking forward to what's coming next.
Look at these big cracks in the ground. It's so dry that the soil is actually starting to change, and that could mean problems for anything else buried underground.
And it's been a long and cold day to be out working underground, but KC Water's been hard at work in that hole there. They say they should be able to come out and finish cleaning that up and get a plate over that very soon.
KCTV5's Nathan Vickers joins us live now to explain what is left of it and the trouble it caused today. Nathan?
Yeah, this was an emergency demolition, so it kind of took people by surprise. And you can see the rubble back behind me. All that's left is a big pile of brick back there. But a lot of people kind of regarded that building as an eyesore. They say it's been vacant for far too long.
For some families, it's been a little frustrating. They've been dealing with bad weather and long lines as they try to make it home for the holidays.